Storytelling has been part of the human experience since the beginning. Storytelling has become part of our fiber, part of our dreams, our accomplishments and joys, but also part of our struggles, failures and sorrow. Storytelling has made us who we are. Through the centuries, one generation has told and left stories behind for upcoming generations. From prehistoric, ancient and biblical times, we have records of peoples and cultures and civilizations through the stories they've told and left behind. Jesus preferred to relay his messages through parables, using stories to illustrate certain truths. Storytelling is so much more than fiction, fantasy, and fable. Every day we tell stories. We tell stories to ourselves. Who am I? What is my purpose? We tell stories to our spouses, our children, friends and family, to our employer and employees, to our clients, our readers, our community, and to the world. And yes, to the panhandler at the traffic light. Without storytelling, we will have no record of history of our past. Without storytelling, we will be ignorant and indifferent, and our future will be uncertain. Everybody has a story, a personal narrative. Every single person has a story to tell. You have, I have. The life we live right now is our story. The life we have lived up to today is part of that story. Our past has shaped and scarred and molded us. But there's a clear distinction we need to make. Our past does not define us. Past failures and traumas do not dictate our future. It doesn't matter whether we are a teenager, single, married, divorced, in a relationship, middle age, or old. What matters is that we live each day with the knowledge that we have worth and that we have a purpose. Each one of us has unique gifts, abilities, and insights that no one else on earth has. Age and gender and race and language and culture does not define our value as a person or determine our character. There is no one like you. Out of the 7.5 billion people on earth, you are totally unique. You are no accident. You have endless potential and you have a unique story to tell. Many of us suffer from loneliness. We are lonely in spite of being physically surrounded by people and being connected 24/7 on all our devices. By learning to tell our story, learning to write it down, we can break the cycle of loneliness, of feeling unworthy or a failure. Sharing our work, as intimidating as it may sound, can be liberating and break open the cage of self-constructed cage that we live in. We tell stories as part of our inherent nature and our need to create art. Through our art, through our writing and telling our stories, we find meaning and give meaning and find fulfillment. Storytelling is powerful. It changes lives. It transports, transforms, and heals us. You can learn to tell a story. Learn to tell your story. You can learn to tell a stronger and more powerful story or stories. You can learn to tell stories to find healing and meaning. You can also learn to tell stories for fun and enjoyment and to make a living. An aspect of storytelling that is often underappreciated is its healing power. During our lifetime, we all experience struggle, pain, and suffering, some more than others. Some of us are also exposed to life-altering trauma, to abuse, to chronic illness, often leaving us scarred, hurting, and suffering. This can lead to despair. We can cling to the past or our present predicament and remain trapped in a cycle of negative self-talk, guilt, and feelings of unworthiness. Storytelling, focused reading, and expressive writing and creative art can all help us and empower us to grow and reach our full potential. These are not quick fixes, but are tools we can learn to use. Telling stories is not only for a lucky few, for the famous, the affluent, or for born storytellers. It's a myth that only special people can tell stories. Storytelling is for ordinary people, by ordinary people. Storytelling is for you and for me. Storytelling can be learned. You don't need to be a professional writer to tell and write your story. You don't need to be a trained artist to paint and draw and discover new ways to express yourself and share a story. Granted, as in the case with any form of art and creativity, there's a wide spectrum of quality, ranging from novice to master. Creating quality art is a gift, the product of applying oneself, the result of hard work and a refusal to give up. With effort, grit, and dedication, and learning From seasoned storytellers and artists, you and I can learn to become competent. Responsibility rests on our shoulders as we learn and master the craft to create quality art and stories, to not sacrifice quality for quantity, especially as we learn to make a living from our art and storytelling, and always to do so in humility, in a moral and ethical way. Another misconception about storytelling is that it is limited to the spoken and printed word. Storytelling includes any possible medium and format. Powerful stories are often told through visual art, through music, song and dance, film and photography, through the performing arts, and through combinations of all of these. We tell stories to entertain and to enchant, to inform and inspire and challenge, to heal and grow and find meaning. But we also use stories to indoctrinate and instill fear, to bully and to terrorize. Fortunately, we can also use stories to build bridges and cross divides between people. We can learn how to get paid by telling our stories and making our art. And if we get paid for our work, it enables us to tell more and better stories, reach more people, and impact more lives. The Tell Your Story, Change Life course has been divided into 3 modules with degrees of overlap. Module 1, Tell a First-Time Story, teaches the very basics of storytelling. Module 2, Tell a Stronger Story, teaches how to take your storytelling to the next level. And Module 3, Tell a Brand New Story, teaches how writing and creative art can help us find healing and meaning. Good storytelling, outstanding writing, and quality art is hard work. It requires considered effort. It demands dedication. But don't lose heart. We can learn how to do it. It's about realizing you have a story to tell. Unique stories that only you have and which only you can tell in your distinct way. We can continue living an average life, living a life of compromising, of complaining and blaming, believing the myth there is nothing we can do about our present situation. We can continue remaining a victim, living our bland lives, stifling our dreams, never pushing ourselves, never daring outside our comfort zones. Or we can take responsibility for our situation, decide to change. Not for a moment does such an action nullify the significance of the big and painful things in our lives. The traumas and the upheavals, like the loss of a loved one, loss of employment, abuse, serious injury or chronic illness. No, it's about how we respond to it. If we were hurt and traumatized, when we cling to resentment, unable to forgive, unable to process it and move on, we remain a prisoner, giving power to the other party or the situation over us. We remain trapped, and inside, we slowly die. We all experience pain, suffering, and struggle, some more than others. It's a part of life. The difference and choice lie in our response. We choose what power it will have over us. There's a place for medication and psychotherapy, but we can also learn effective coping strategies. Learning to tell our stories is one such strategy. We give validation to what has happened, but from a position of hope, from a position of strength. Look in the mirror. That person will determine what is going to happen. That person can help you change your life by starting to tell your story. I'm not downplaying the role of faith in our lives, but faith without action is of little use. You have to make the decision. You can live an above average life. Start by learning to tell a different story about yourself, about your life, about your loved ones, about the world, and about your future. Imagine finally finishing that book. Imagine writing more powerful stories. Imagine learning to forgive yourself and start on a path towards healing. Imagine how this can change your life, change the life of others, and change the world. This course is not a quick fix or an attempt to brainwash or trick you. This course will not make you happy overnight and turn you into a millionaire or make you world famous. But you might be surprised in finding more peace, a fresh perspective, and discovering joy as you tell your stories. You will have to become intentional and do the work, the writing and the practice. But rest assured, you are not alone. Many others have similar dreams and doubts and face similar challenges and fears. I will act as a guide. I will show you how you can learn to tell your story, how to tell your stories better. And I'm convinced that by completing the course, you will change how you see yourself and your place in the world. Change your ideas about storytelling and creativity and its importance in our lives. Whether you want to just write your first book, write more powerful prose, or recover from hurts, get your life back, and live an above average life, this course can open that door for you. Expect change. Expect growth. Expect to set out and write a new story to your life. When we show up, do the work, combine the power of storytelling, of writing and art, an amazing thing happens. We change. We grow and mature and find deeper understanding and meaning. By completing the course, you will discover you have a story to tell, and your stories matter. You will discover telling a story can change a life. It can change your life. It can change the life of others. And yes, it can change the world. Are you ready to tell your story? You can start today.